Hi, this is Monica Packer from About Progress, and you're listening to The Messy Middle, a monthly series where I share some of my own messy middle so you can see what progress looks like for a real woman in real time. We always begin this episode with the What's Happening segment, where I get to tell you what's been going on around the Packer household. And it's been 2 months since my last messy middle. In other words, a whole summer. And wow, that's what I can't believe. It's already the end of summer. My kids are all starting school just the week after this airs. I cannot believe that. Actually, just two, no, three of them are, and then another one starting the week after that, and then another one starting the week after that. I'm going to have 5 kids in 5 schools. It's going to be a little cray cray, but I think we're going to be okay. We do have one car, but two of the kids are for sure going to walk to and from school each day. And the other three, it seems like we'll be able to do it in just one pass. So that's all to say. That's what's coming ahead. But looking back, this summer was really good. Now, at the beginning of the summer, I taught the best summer ever workshop, and I didn't have the best summer ever. I had a good summer, but not like the best ever, not as great as last summer. I'm going to be sharing more about it in an upcoming growth spurt and how I've been working through it. But I just want to acknowledge that right away because we did have a good summer. It wasn't the best ever, but it was really good. And that's mostly down to my toddler. To be honest, toddler life is not for the faint of heart with any toddler. But when you have a super active toddler who is into everything and who is also extremely opinionated but unable to communicate, it's very tricky. If you don't know, my 2.5-year-old can't talk. He's essentially nonverbal, although he is starting to say more things, like he can now say boss boo for boss baby. I know that was one of his summer wins. He's also saying yes very clearly, which is awesome. Beyond that, he cannot communicate like a typical 2.5-year-old. They think he has childhood apraxia, which they can't officially diagnose him with until he's 3, but we're going to speech therapy every week, and that's how he's getting treated anyway. It's been rough for him. It's been hard, and he has to be watched every second of every day. And while he was already like that his whole life, before he could be more in my arms, and now he's just very mobile and wanting to literally be on the countertop in the sink with the faucet on and spraying things around the kitchen any chance he can. We still had a lot of fun though. We didn't stick to our themed days like we did last year a lot. Monday was museum day, Tuesday, take it out Tuesday, and so on. More so, we just tried to have our morning routine and then do something fun. And then afternoons were them having chill time, me working, and the toddler occasionally sleeping. And also, occasionally, 3 afternoons a week, I'd have a babysitter come when she was around, which she wasn't always. And sometimes we weren't around either. So it's just a little more loosey goosey. But we did have a lot of fun. We used our Get Out Pass. We went to Lagoon as a family. We went on 2 reunions, one with Brad's family. We haven't done that for several years with his, just a few of his siblings and their kids and his parents at Heber City in Utah, which I have never been to. Lived here my whole life. Go to Park City often because that's where we ski. But I've never been to Heber City besides Brad running a half marathon there, and that didn't count. It was beautiful. I loved being there and I'd love to go back. And then we just finished a second family reunion with my family. I have 6 siblings. They're all married. They all have kids. And with my parents, we're all in the same house together. This one was called the Dome at Island Park in Idaho. And it really was just a huge dome with tons of rooms at the bottom, a zip line to the top stairs, a theater room, and several bathrooms and tons of washers and dryers and several fridges. It was great for our huge family, and we had a blast there too. Also, this summer, we celebrated 4 birthdays, mine in June. And then in July, we celebrated my oldest daughter's birthday, who turned 14. She's about to start high school. I'm not ready. She's not ready. It's okay. And then my now 10-year-old son, who is going into 5th grade and also starting at a new school this coming year. And then in August, we celebrated Brad's birthday. So lots of birthdays. And we did a few home projects around the house. I'm going to get more to that in a second. But overall, we had a good summer, fun times to bond. We're starting to host dessert nights more, and we plan to do even more of that. For Father's Day, I got Brad a projector and a movie screen, And then we found it was too light still at night to watch movies outside. But now that it's slowly getting darker each night, we're planning on hosting more movie nights in the backyard. And speaking of movies, that's where I'm going to be sharing more of some things I'm loving lately later on. I'd like to end this segment with the highs and lows. The highs for me, several things just, bonding with my kids. We're starting to do one-on-one dates leading up to school, and that's been great. Sitting on the seats outside with Brad at night was just great. But my favorite thing was my me day this year. It was a couple weeks after my birthday. I think can't remember what happened on my birthday. I think it was, Brad ran a half marathon and he did great. And then there was a full baseball tournament day, like a full baseball all day. And it was a great birthday that way too. I didn't really care about doing much. And I also knew my me day was coming a couple weeks later, and it did. And my day looked like going on a hike with the supporters, which it was me and Alicia. We had a great time. And then I got myself a pastry. I shared this as a reel, so I'm trying to remember what I did. And then I did a lot of yard work. I know, but I did yard work. That felt like something I wanted to do, to not have it to worry about the kids and Brad fully managing them for that day. By the way, a me day is a responsibility-free day. I aired an episode on this in June, so you can go back and listen to it. So if he's watching the kids, I just got to prune roses for hours and mow and all that stuff, and it felt great to do that without worrying about the kids. And then I showered and got ready and then went to do some errands, like returns at REI, went and got myself a thirst drink and pretzels. And that was the best. Like when those pretzels are hot and so fresh, they are the best things ever. That with my Dr. McCreamy soda, which if you aren't familiar with the Utah soda things, I don't get them often just because it adds up and I personally don't sleep well when I have caffeine. But my favorite drink is a Diet Dr. Pepper. This is what's in the Dr. McDreamy or McDreamy. I get McCreamy. I don't know, but it's this combo. Diet Dr. Pepper with crushed raspberry syrup, or is it crushed raspberries? I think it's actually real raspberries. Maybe it depends on where you go. Coconut, lime. No, coconut cream and lime. I think that's what it's in it. And it's so good. That first sip of it with the pretzel bite, I thought I was going to go to die and go to heaven. Then I went to the mall and shopped, and I came home and Brad was going to host, we were going to have kids over in the neighborhood and a couple families to watch The Sandlot. And I was like, well, we need to make brownies for them and popcorn. So I had to make the popcorn. He's like, I'll make the brownies. I'm like, okay, fine. That's great. Yeah, go for it. And then once all the kids came, Brad was like, so you and this family's mom and that friend is going to go with you to go get a treat. Goodbye. We're going to watch all the kids. And it was so great. So we went and got gelato, and it was probably the first time in a long, long time. I'm going to embarrass myself by saying years that I've ever gone on a little girls' night. Honestly, I think since pre-COVID. Isn't that insane? Yeah. Since pre-COVID times. That's my first girls' night in that long. And it's not because I don't prioritize it or Brad won't let me. It's just, I don't really think about it and life is busy, and it was so nice to do that. So Brad really made that day possible. And just so you know, I am forcing him to take a me day on his birthday, which I said we already had it, but I'm recording this before his actual birthday, and when it airs, his birthday will have passed, but his birthday is this Saturday, and I'm like, you are taking the me day. I don't care what excuses you come up with, you're taking the day, because as much as I love that day and it was a high, I also felt guilty a lot because I didn't think you would take one, so he's going to take one. Right, Brad? So that was my high. The me day was so amazing. Oh, the low. I don't even want to tell you about this because it could be a very long story. The long and short of it is we've had an IKEA dresser that has been truly falling apart for years. Irreparable. We could not fix it. We have glued the heck out of that. We have fixed the drawers over and over, and it's finally gotten to the point where they are officially out and falling off, and nothing will stay in, and it's just too small for us. We have a very small closet, and we stuffed those clothes in on the dresser, and so we finally decided to get a new one, and I wanted a really nice real wood dresser, and I went to the Restoration Hardware outlet. I got a really nice dresser there for a very reasonable price, and reasonable still being expensive. And the long and short of it is I called 6 moving people on the list that they gave us, and went with one that seemed like a good deal and comparable to the other people's prices, and they totally scammed us. They came, they had a really hard time. I told them before it was heavy. It was, in fact, really heavy. They had a hard time moving it in. And oh gosh, I'm trying not to belabor this. They almost doubled the price at the end, saying, "Oh, it was very heavy, so we have to charge you more for that." I'm like, "Okay, I'm just not even gonna deal with that because we have guests over and it was a heavy thing, so I'm just gonna be like, not put up a fuss. Sure, fine, I'll pay more," which still was like, $30 more than the other bid I gotten. So, okay, that seems fair enough. And then I gave them a tip. And then they had scuffed up some things on walls, and that was okay. The next morning, though, I found a giant hole in our drywall that they had attempted to hide with another piece of furniture that I had seen one of them moving back as quick as they could. And anyway, it turned into a whole thing. It turned into calling and talking to the guy who was pretending that he wasn't the owner of the business, which he totally is. His moving partners as a family. He never said anything like that either. They're not insured. He said he's going to send someone to repair it. Never did. Stopped returning phone calls. The emails go nowhere. There is no recourse. Is that the word? Yeah. So we got scammed, and there's a giant hole in our drywall, but we do have a nice dresser now. So I guess there's that. That's it for what's happening. Let's now do the DSL update. DSL stands for the Do Something list. It's a list I made going back now 10 years. It totally changed my life, and it's changed hundreds of women's lives in our community. You can get a free training at aboutprogress.com/DSL. And you can also see my DSL for this year at aboutprogress.com/MonicaDSL2025. We will link to it in the show notes. I have that pulled up, that very post, because I'm just going to share a couple things that I was able to check off the list there. One of my items is to bake something new each month. In June, I made sourdough ciabatta bread, and actually it was so good that has become one of our favorite meals now. Sourdough ciabatta bread that we turn into sandwiches with we do it Jersey Mike style with some red wine vinegar and Italian seasoning, and now Brad calls it Jersey Moms. So really good. July, I made chocolate olive oil fudge cake. Coming back to that later. On my Get Out and Get Cultured events item, Brad and I went to 12 Angry Men. It was amazing at the Hell Center Theater. It was so good. And it was so good that afterwards we're like, we got to take our oldest two kids to this. And we went on to buy the tickets, and they were sold out completely. So I was lucky to get tickets for that. For my arts and crafts projects, friends, I took my sewing machine to the repair place. I told you that last messy middle. They sent me an email saying, "Hey, this is something we can't fix." And I went there, and when I came to pick up the sewing machine, she was like, "Would you like us to dispose of it for you?" And I was like, "Oh, so it really can't be fixed." So I bought a sewing machine. And it is so cute, and it's green. Green's my favorite color, with yellow as a close second, but it's sitting on the floor of my office right now. So step forward. In terms of new hikes, hey, many steps forward there. I'm counting a little hike I did in Heber and another hike I did with my family in Highland Park. I just have one more to go. On, let's see, what's another one? I'm just going through my list here. We're going to go on a double date this weekend, which is great. So my list says here to go on 5 double dates. We've gone on 2 and a third this weekend, so that would be great. Another one is to go on 2 out-of-state adventures, and so far we went to Idaho. Counting Idaho, we're definitely going to go to California this fall, and I'm going to England on my pilgrimage, Pride and Prejudice pilgrimage in September. I'm equal parts excited and scared right now. That's just how I do these things. Lead a mini hiking club with friends. I went on one, which is great, with Alicia, our supporter, and I keep organizing one with my friend, but then I've had to cancel and she's had to cancel, and we're going to get it back on the calendar soon. For complete one home project a month, in June, we started working on Brad's office. I painted it. I put up shelves for him, and I still need to finalize a couple things like hanging up. I'm going to get something for the medals and all of his running medals, and to display them. And I'm also going to hang up some special posters he has, and he's had to go through a lot of things to organize there. He's doing a great job. So that one's still going on. And also in July, we've been working more on our primary bedroom. I ordered some wallpaper samples, and we're thinking we're going to actually add some trim and then do some wallpaper above it because we have high ceilings in our bedroom. So think it's gonna look really good. I'm also considering a mirror. I went to IKEA and took a look at the mirrors there. The dresser's gonna be really nice, but we're still gonna have IKEA other things. We got IKEA little nightstands to go on the sides because our nightstands were too big with the new dresser and where it had to fit, and our bedroom's pretty small. So couldn't open the drawers with our current nightstand. So that's happening. For make flower bouquets from the garden, I'm now on my ninth one as of today. Jack-o'-lanterns, pumpkins from the garden. I have to tell you, squash bugs, I think, have killed my pumpkins. And I'm on a war with them. I don't know if it's going to work. Another item was to take a me day. I told you about that. It was great. And I think that's it. I'm also halfway through a masterclass of the actual masterclass app. And I have now read 8 books from my Read the Shelf challenge. So lots of good stuff. What's coming up this month is sewing. I'm definitely going to do some arts and craft projects with sewing. I've been saving all these ideas. I bought patterns. I have the quilting course. I started taking the quilting course too, which is great. One of the things is I want to sew something to wear as well. So I've been saving a lot of reels for that. I I went on a girls' night. I didn't technically host it, so I don't know if I can count that, but I think that one is coming up. And I told you about the hike that I'm going to do, having fun with fashion. I am finally going to get new headshots after 5+ years of my last time. And I'm going to try to have fun with the clothes I already have. And I may go get something yellow though, because it goes with the, and that's a little secret there. And I'm going to complete that masterclass because in August, my masterclass access ends. And so I need to finish the one I'm on and do one more to meet that item. So that was a kind of a longer breakdown than I typically do for the do something list. But hey, it's been 2 months. And so there was a bit more to share and report in on that. And that's it for the DSL update. The next segment is Make It a Habit. In this segment, I share about a habit that's going well and one that's not going so well. What's going well overall is a morning routine with my kids. They really are doing a good job checking off their checklist each morning, getting the dishwasher emptied and dressed and breakfast and hair done and weeding and piano practice and typing and all those things. They're doing a great job. What's not going so well is my part of that morning routine, which is to read with my 7-year-old. We did a good job for a couple of weeks and then we fell off the wagon, starting with our first family reunion, and the time has flown by. And I'm like, no, I need to read with him. He really needs it. So anyway, that's one I do need to prioritize for him. Yeah. So that's me just telling myself, Monica, it's time to come up with a new WTA for that for the rest of the summer. It's not too late, even if there's just 2.5 weeks left as of recording. That's never too late. It's never too late. And then once the school year begins, I got to come up with another WTA then. That's it for Make It a Habit. The next segment is the Book Watch. In this segment, I tell you about how it's going with book writing. So I told you that I had been writing for a while, then I had to pause writing to write a proposal and to find a publisher and a book agent. That all happened. Have a book offer, signed it. They've signed it. But the important meeting is happening next week as of the recording. So after that very important first meeting with all the people on the team, I think I can finally share more about it. So stay tuned. I am excited. I'm nervous. I'm happy with the deal I got. I'm happy with the publisher I'm at so far. And but I'm also, it's new. It's all new and I don't know totally what I'm doing. I'm really glad I have a book agent to help support me and guide what's happening there. So I feel more like someone has my back. Not that I think I'd be taken advantage of in any way, but just like someone in the know who can spot out some things I don't know in these meetings. And I'm also back into writing. Taking that break it had to happen in order to get the book deal. I can't believe I have a book deal and I'm so excited and grateful. And also it's scary. Like now it's all settling in. Like I have to write the rest of this book and I have to do a good job. And I want to make the publisher happy and I want to sell the books that they think I'm going to sell in order to make my advance worth it. And I want the book to be really good for you and impactful. And I don't expect it to be a New York Times bestseller. Like I don't have high aspirations like that for something like this, for my first book especially, but I do want it to be good and well received. So I have felt a surprising amount of fear in writing and even procrastination. And like today I haven't written yet, but the last 2 weeks, I made a goal to even just get my 20 minutes in, and I've met that more times than not, which feels really good. And, today was just one of those days where my toddler woke up early and in the morning and I was literally about to sit down to do my 20 minutes after I did my workout. So I know to prioritize that. It's really about waking up at 5 a.m. Again, I've bounced around with my morning times this summer. It's been more like 5:30 and 6, and that's still early, I know. But for this book to be officially written, I've got to wake up at 5, and that's definitely going to be the case when school begins. And I have 5 kids in 5 schools, and I have to not only have written in the morning, I have to be dressed and ready to go when I drop them off to school, because as soon as I drop off my toddler at preschool, or Brad does, I have 2 to 2.5 hours of work time, and things have got to get done, including lots of interviews, and I have to be camera ready for those things, which is, I mean, camera ready is like me with mascara. It's not like I get my makeup done, obviously. But anyway, so that's just what I know needs to happen in order to officially get this done. But I'm proud of myself for where am, and I'm proud of myself for the small, messy steps I'm taking, and I know it will add up, and it's time to continue to face those fears and get that book done and face the imposter syndrome too. That's it for the book watch. The next segment is what I'm loving lately. For my birthday, I made Brooke Ellison's, a female foodie fame, her olive oil chocolate fudge cake. She has another olive oil chocolate cake that is, I think, almost the same recipe, but this is a fudge cake form. If you've ever had a Texas fudge cake, oh, you know it's so good. So I made this for my birthday, and it's a recipe that I can't provide because it's on her Substack and her paid subscriber feed there. So she's so worth it. Her recipes are so good that are exclusive on there. I highly recommend her Substack. So that was so good, and I can't wait to make it again. Another thing I've been loving lately is the kids and I have been watching the Hunger Games series together. We've been watching like one-ish a week, maybe the last couple weeks, and we are about to start the 3rd and 4th movie. And it's been just really fun to share that with them. I'm also partway through the newest book, and I'm like, what is that book? Like, that's funny. When I'm reading, I often don't remember the character names of what I'm reading, or actually the book name. Sunrise on the Reaping, which I'm really liking so far. Already liking it so much more than the last book that she wrote in that series. And this also ties back to what else I'm loving lately is Emily Henry's latest book that I just finished yesterday, Great Big Beautiful Life. I loved it. I thought it was so good. I liked her one about friends last year who end up being in love. Is that? I think so. But this one was just so, so good. It's different than her normal, but also the same in terms of romance. Her books are always spicy, so be fair warned. Not like super, super spicy, but pretty spicy. But I just love her writing. She's an amazing, amazing writer. I do have to agree with Megan from Megan's Book Club. Says she hates how she uses the word chortle all the time. I'm like, yeah, I noticed that. Now that you said that, that is true. But it was a really, really good book. That's it for what I'm loving lately. The next segment is On My Mind. This is where I just share what's been on my mind. It's my kids. I already told you about this in June. I was already thinking ahead. I'm worried about getting back into school and ensuring I can get up at 5 officially, and just make that all happen. And my daughter starting high school that's on my mind a lot. It's really worrisome because she's not a typical kid. And yeah, I have more hope though, and I have a lot of faith in her. Just the biggest thing is her finding friends pretty soon on would be great. And also my 10-year-old who's starting at a new school in 5th grade. I'm just really hopeful I made the right choice in pulling him away from the charter school that we've loved. It's just, so we'll see how that goes. Also, my mind is Italy. I am so excited for the sale that is coming up for that. It's September 9th. You must get on the wait list, my friends, if you are remotely interested, because these tours typically sell out fast. We are doing an exclusive Q&A call with Brooke Ellison from Female Foodie. She's not going to be on the tour, but this is all her child. Like, everything has been planned down to the T with Brooke after years of study and cultivating and running these tours. So we're going to do a Q&A call with Brooke to answer all your questions. And there's more exclusive waitlist only things happening in August. So get on the waitlist by going to aboutprogress.com/Italy. And as part of those exclusives, just so you know, I have some fun bonuses that I'm including. For the first 6 people who sign up, I'm sending them my favorite things, like a package of my favorite things. And also, of all the women who sign up, I'm going to do a raffle of 6 30-minute one-on-one coaching calls with me, and there's more surprises in the works too. So get on that waitlist again at aboutprogress.com/Italy. And the final thing that's been on my mind has been something I have been working on since early May and working exhaustively on it throughout the entire summer. So much so that I didn't take on any new coaching clients, and I won't in the fall either because my time has needed to go to this. And you are going to be the first to hear about it. Are you ready? I told you a little bit about it, I think, but not really. I am hosting my first, and I'm thinking the inaugural, meaning I don't think this is going to be the only one. It's already that good. I'm hosting my first online conference. This is often referred to as a summit. This is different for me. It's higher quality than a summit. Let me tell you the name though. It's the More for Moms Summit. This idea came about from my coaching clients. I had 11 coaching clients in the winter, and spending time with them was so impactful for them, of course, but for me too. And being able to meet with women one-on-one that much throughout 4 months together and that often in terms of every week is really enlightening on what my community needs and what they're struggling with. And this theme, this thread really of more came up with every single client in one way or another. That the desire for more, the fear of wanting more, how to ask for more, ways to get more. And that translated to an idea of I've thought about doing summits many times over the years, but it finally clicked that this was it. I wanted to do one specific to moms and it being about their desire for more and not only giving them permission to want more out of their lives, but also a way to do that. So it's a 7-day summit. 5 days of those, we are going to hear from 5 speakers each day. And these are the creme de la creme of the women that you know online. We have a huge variety of like world expert speakers that I cannot wait to introduce you to. From Brooke Romney to names that Eli Harwood, I think Harwood from the Attachment Nerds. Sorry, I always know people from like their handle. Megan's Book Club is going to be on there. So many more incredible names. Sharon Eskandani, who I love. Dr. Aditi Nurkar, who's been on the podcast, such a big guest to have on. And I mean, we have the best women who are going to be the speakers, and you just get 5 a day, Monday through Friday, and then 2 extra days to watch it all for free. There is an all access pass too, but I did my best to make it an affordable price so that you can consume the content like a course and a self-paced course with exclusive bonuses for the all access pass members, and will likely turn it into something you can get later on. But leading up to the event and through it, it's going to be $67, and after it will be $97. So if you want the all access pass, I would get it before the actual conference. And I am now halfway through interviewing these 25 women, and I can tell you that the quality is unmatched. The depth and also the practical application of everything they teach is not just going to blow your mind, it's going to change your life. And I say that with full confidence. I am blown away by the women that said yes to this. And for the conversations we've already had, it's going to be better than probably, honestly, than anything I think I've ever put out there online. So I cannot wait. It's going to start being open for getting your free tickets. The 7 days basic pass is free. All access pass is just like a course. You get the access to it, like lifetime access, which means as long as the course is up. But that all will start September 15th. But you as my community can start signing up right now. You can go to aboutprogress.com/more for moms, and we will have it linked for you in the show notes. And you get first dibs. You get to sign up. And you'll probably see the sales page evolve as time goes on. I have a basic version of it right now, but it's there for you, and I cannot wait to share it with you. That's it for On My Mind. Next up is About Progress's Progress. In this segment, I tell you how it's going with About Progress. 2024 was our make it or break it year. 2025 has gone so much better in many ways, but hey, it's still a messy middle. And let me start by telling you about the Supporters Club. Last time, I think we had 183 at recording. This time we have 181. And in May, we had 187. So we've gone down. And, ups and downs are part of the path of progress. And I'm holding on to hope that we will definitely get to 200, I hope by the fall. To help you know what the Supporters Club is, the Supporters Club makes my work with About Progress free for all people. You donate $2 to $7 a month, and in return, you get access to exclusive benefits, including More Personal, my private premium podcast, and events like we're going to have a garden party in August soon, too, in my actual garden at my house. So I would love to see you there. And More Personal, I am working on another new deep dive. My most popular one has been the GLP-1 series. There were 3 episodes this year already. The next one I'm going to be doing MLMs. And man, has it been another deep dive. I'll tell you what, I've already read 1 book on it. I've read 3 books on it, but I'm still doing more deep dives on my own research, and that's coming up. It's going to be juicy. So join us there at the Supporters Club by going to aboutprogress.com/support. And other news and updates, hopefully book news will be coming out soon, and please follow us on YouTube because that's really important right now. But that's it for the progress, but we always do end by sharing the review of the month. And this was left in June. Thank you so much. There have been, I think, 5 reviews left this year, so not very much. But as you may know, if you leave a review, you are automatically entered to the annual giveaway I do around the anniversary of the podcast, which is 9 years this fall. And I will likely be giving away 9 of my favorite things. And then the final winner will get all 9. That's what I did last year, and I really like that model. But anyone who enters in the year that we are in, which is 2025, will automatically be entered for that giveaway. So leave me a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, please, if you could. And this is from Chelsea. She says, "This is my favorite podcast. I am a mom, therapist, and share very different religious beliefs than Monica, but I absolutely love the way she talks about issues, shares her thoughts, and is so humble and transparent. I share her concept of the do something list with clients all the time. Highly recommend for anyone looking for a balanced and realistic view of self-improvement." Chelsea, thank you very much. If you recognize your review, please email me at hello@aboutprogress.com, and I'd love to send you a little thank you package. It means so much to me to hear what you like about the show and what helps you, and also constructive criticism is also helpful too. So you can share that with me at hello@aboutprogress.com. That's it for today's Messy Middle. I hope it gives you the courage to lean into your own messy middle today.